Get ready to have your perspective flipped upside down. And I mean in the best way possible. For instance, did you know that Russia didn't even classify beer as alcoholic until 2011? Or that a traffic jam once lasted a mind-numbing 12 days? And wait until you find out just how many bugs are legally allowed in 100 grams of broccoli. Yep, it's gross, people. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 facts that'll change how you see the world. 25. Frozen lobsters can come back to life. Okay, this one is straight out of a sci-fi movie. Did you know that frozen lobsters can come back to life? A Connecticut company unintentionally discovered this bizarre phenomenon about 20 years ago. They froze some lobsters alive, just part of their regular process, and when they thawed them in salt water, about 12 out of the 200 sprang back to life. It was basically an accidental cryogenics experiment gone right, and it even sparked the idea of freezing lobsters right after they're caught to ensure they hit your kitchen as fresh as possible. 24. Jeep is an army term. You probably know Jeep as the rugged, all-American vehicle, but did you know the term Jeep actually has its roots in the US Army? The word was first used as early as World War I when soldiers used Jeep as slang for fresh recruits or new, untested vehicles. By 1937, even tractors provided to the Army were dubbed Jeeps. But the real fame of the Jeep came during World War II when it became an iconic quarter-ton truck known for being agile, tough, and reliable. The Willis Overland Company eventually gave that name to their vehicle, and by the end of 1945, about 650,000 Jeeps had been produced. 23. Russia didn't classify beer as alcoholic until 2011. Believe it or not, in Russia, beer wasn't even considered alcohol until 2011. Before that, anything with less than 10% alcohol was categorized as food. Yeah, you heard that right. Food. In Russia, beer is often categorized by the color, light, red, semi-dark, and dark, rather than by the fermentation process, like in most other countries. Beer sales were treated more like selling snacks than alcohol, which meant it wasn't subject to the same strict regulations as vodka or other spirits. So for years, you could walk into a grocery store and just grab a beer as easily as you would a loaf of bread. 22. When a male lion takes over, he kills all the cubs. When a new male lion takes over a pride, his first order of business is to eliminate the competition by killing all the cubs fathered by the previous males. I know, it's horrifying, but there's a method to the madness. By doing this, the new leader triggers the females to enter estrus more quickly, allowing him to sire his own offspring and secure his lineage. If a male lion is lucky enough to make it to 3 years old, he'll leave his birth pride and begin a nomadic life, roaming the savannah in search of his own pride to take over. That puts Lion King in a whole new light. 21. One Beijing traffic jam lasted 12 days. In 2010, the Beijing-Tibet Expressway became the spot of a 12-day traffic jam that stretched over 60 miles. Drivers were moving at a snail's pace and covered, on average, only a mile a day. The situation actually got so bad that people set up makeshift camps on the side of the road, and vendors took advantage of the chaos by hiking up prices for essentials. The cause? A combination of construction work and heavy truck traffic. Basically the same thing we all get on our national roads. Only this time, it turned a normally busy road into a gridlock nightmare. 20. 1 in 10 Europeans was conceived on IKEA beds. Whether it's the allure of Scandinavian design or just the sheer number of beds sold, IKEA has a uniquely intimate connection with European households. IKEA beds are believed to be responsible for the conception of 1 in 10 Europeans, according to the New York Times. The revelation came to light during an in-depth investigation into the popular Swedish furniture maker. IKEA's affordable and accessible products are a staple in millions of homes across Europe, so it's no wonder their beds have touched so many lives. Literally. 19. The FDA allows up to 60 bugs in 100 grams of broccoli. Here's a fun, or maybe not so fun fact. The FDA actually allows a certain number of bugs in your food. Yep, I kid you not. According to their guidelines, 100 grams of broccoli can legally contain up to 60 aphids, mites, or thrips. Yummy. But before you swear off veggies forever, although broccoli's terrible and everyone can swear that off, remember that these tiny bugs are harmless and probably give you an extra bit of protein. And hey, there's nothing a good rinse or two can't do, right? God, broccoli's the worst. put broccoli in cheddar soup. Yeah, it ruins the cheddar. I don't want broccoli. I hate broccoli so much. 18. Pope Francis is an honorary Harlem Globetrotter. Did you know that Pope Francis is an honorary member of the Harlem Globetrotters? He was made their 9th honorary member during a special audience with the legendary basketball team in 2015, and they didn't stop there. They even taught him a few of their famous tricks. But Pope Francis isn't the first pontiff to receive this honor. Back in 2000, the Globetrotters also conferred the title on Pope John Paul II. 17. Screech owls keep snakes as live-in housekeepers. Eastern screech owls have a fascinating and relatively unusual habit. They bring live blind snakes to their nests, and while some do get eaten, most of them actually end up living in the nest. The snakes then act as tiny housekeepers, eating insect larvae and other pests found in the owl's debris, fecal matter, and uneaten prey. The clever partnership keeps the nest clean and free of pests, and benefits both the owls and their unusual roommates. 16. Male pandas do a handstand when they urinate. Here's a peculiar fact for you about male pandas. They do a handstand when they urinate. It might sound amusing, but the upside-down trick actually helps them mark their territory higher up on trees, spreading their scent further. This clever move increases their chances of attracting a mate during their short mating season. With only about 1,600 pandas left in the wild, and their habitat shrinking due to human activity and climate change, well, every little bit helps. It's not why I wore this, I promise. I cold read, didn't know that was going to be a fact. 15. Pompei's ruins are covered in ancient graffiti. Did you know that Pompei's ruins are practically covered in ancient graffiti? Over 5,000 pieces of it have been found in the long-buried Roman city to date. And while a lot of the graffiti is just simple name tags, actually about 37% of them, people left behind everything from greetings and messages to crude jokes, famous quotes, drawings of animals and gladiators, and even numbers, dates, and prices. 14. Newborn's golden start. Here's a golden tidbit for you. Baby's hair actually contains traces of gold. How does that happen? Gold is so unreactive that it exists as tiny nanoparticles in seawater and soil. Plants and animals absorb these particles, and they eventually make their way up the food chain to us. So even if you don't have gold fillings, there are about 2 milligrams of gold in your body. But don't get too excited just yet. It won't make you rich. If you could extract it, without dying that is, you'd only get a few cents. 13. When you eat pineapple, it eats you back. Pineapple might taste like a slice of tropical paradise, but that sticky piece of fruit next to the umbrella in your cocktail has a secret weapon: bromelain. Bromelain breaks down proteins, which is why eating too much pineapple usually leaves your mouth feeling sore or raw. But don't let that overshadow its positive side. The antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties of bromelain may even help speed up the healing process after an injury or surgery, so we can't hate on it too much. 12. The Male-Free Whiptails. Some species of whiptail lizards get by just fine without males. These all-female lizards, native to Mexico and the US Southwest, can reproduce without any help from a male counterpart. The reason they're able to achieve such incredible feats is that they don't suffer from asexual reproduction's genetic monogamy. These lizards start with twice as many chromosomes as their sexually reproducing relatives, thanks to a mix of different species. They then cleverly avoid pairing up chromosomes like other species do. Instead, they combine their sister chromosomes, which keeps their genetic diversity in check. While it's definitely unusual, this method allows them to thrive and colonize new areas all by themselves. 11. Most bees are solitary and don't live in colonies. When we think of bees, we usually picture buzzing hives and bustling colonies. But most bees actually prefer a more solitary life. In fact, over 75% of bee species are loners. These solitary bees live and work alone, with each female building and defending her own nest. She lays her eggs and gathers nectar and pollen to provide for her future offspring, all without the help of a single other bee. And here's the kicker. She often passes away or moves on before her young even hatch. So while honeybees get all the attention, it's these independent bees that make up the majority of the bee world, quietly going about their business on their own. Or beesness. 10. There's a band that plays music on Veggies. And just when you thought you heard it all. The Vegetable Orchestra is a group of 11 musicians who make instruments out of fresh vegetables and perform with them. The odd ensemble isn't just a novelty act, it's made up of writers, sound poets, musicians, and artists of all kinds, each bringing their unique flair to the group. Whether it's a carrot flute or a pumpkin drum, these artists are living proof that you can create music from just about anything, including your dinner. I wonder if they play Veggie Fruit. 9. Philly cream cheese is a New York creation. Did you know that Philadelphia cream cheese isn't actually from Philadelphia? That's right. Despite its name, this beloved breakfast spread was born in upstate New York. Back in the 1880s, New York dairyman William Lawrence created a richer, creamier version of the popular Neufchâtel cheese and got Alva Reynolds, a marketing genius, to help him elevate the brand. Alva decided to give it a name, Philadelphia cream cheese, banking on Philly's reputation for high-quality dairy products. The name stuck, and the rest is history. What's your favorite cream cheese? Let me know in the comments below, and why is it onion and chive? 8. Cephalopods change their eyes to see color. Well, and just when you thought octopuses couldn't get any more fascinating, octopuses, squid, and other cephalopods only see in black and white, but scientists have discovered that they might actually see in color, just in a way we've never seen before. The secret lies in their bizarrely shaped pupils. Think U-shaped, W-shaped, or even dumbbell-shaped. Their unusual pupils allow light to enter the eye from multiple directions, creating a kind of colorful blur, allowing them to gauge color by focusing different wavelengths on their retinas, similar to how chameleons judge distance, turning a visual peculiarity into a brilliant adaptation. 7. The Earth is greener today than it was 20 years ago. Global warming might be here to stay, but the Earth is actually greener today than it was 20 years ago, and we actually have India and China to thank for it. According to data from NASA satellites, these two countries, despite their massive populations and rapid industrialization, are leading the change in increasing greenery on our planet. It's a massive surprise considering the environmental challenges often associated with these two countries. But through ambitious tree planting programs and intensive agriculture, they've managed to do what most developed countries only dream of. 6. The bloody truth about baking. I'm not sure if anyone really needs to hear this, but blood can actually be used as a substitute for eggs when baking. I know, it's wild, but it's true. Both blood and eggs share similar protein compositions, especially the albumin that's responsible for their coagulant properties. This means that in a pinch, you can swap out one egg for about 65 grams of blood or 43 grams for just the egg white. Although I don't actually recommend you try it. And I don't know anyone who doesn't have egg but just has 65 grams of blood lying around, so, you know, just go to the store and get eggs. You're fine. 5. Acne slows down aging. Dermatologists have long noticed that people who dealt with acne in their youth often seem to age more slowly. Until recently, the reason behind this was a bit of a puzzle. Now, researchers are turning their attention to telomeres, the protective caps at the end of our chromosomes. They're looking at the telomeres in the white blood cells of people who had acne as teens and comparing them to those who didn't. These telomeres help protect our genetic material and keep our cells from aging too quickly, and it seems as if their length could be linked to how well our cells resist aging. The studies are still ongoing, but it's a fascinating angle that might just change the way you think about those teenage breakouts. Teenage breakouts! Baba O'Reilly, but about acne. Teenage breakouts. Sorry. It's immediately what I thought. I'm sorry. What a long intro to a song. 4. Babies cry with an accent. A fascinating study recorded the cries of 60 babies born to French or German parents and discovered that these tiny humans mimic the melody of their native language just 2 days after birth. French babies, for instance, ended their cries with the musical lilt that's typical in French speech, while German babies' cries started strong and then tapered off, mirroring the German sentence intonation. This discovery, published in Current Biology, isn't just about accents. It's exciting because it suggests that babies might use the sounds they heard in the womb to shape how they cry, which basically proves that our language and its patterns start influencing us even before we're born. 3. The colorful world of red cabbage. Red cabbage is the kitchen's chameleon. Thanks to a pigment called anthocyanin, this humble veggie changes color depending on the type of water it's in. When it's in an acidic environment, like when you add lemon juice or vinegar, it turns a vibrant red. But pour something alkaline like baking soda in and it morphs into a bluish green. Since it doesn't affect the taste, it's actually a great way to have fun with your meals. Simply pair it with dishes that complement its hue and make your plate pop. 2. Only 22% of people can wiggle their ears. Have you ever tried wiggling your ears? If you can do it, well, you're in a rare club. Only about 22% of people have this peculiar skill, and less than 18% can move both ears at once, and it's mostly men. While we're still scratching our heads about why this ear wiggling ability is so rare and what it might have meant for our ancestors, some research has given us a few interesting clues. It turns out there's a connection between raising eyebrows and moving ears, which might be linked to how our left ear helps us pinpoint sounds. Some scientists think this could be an old skill from our ancestors that's lost its purpose over time, or even a quirky leftover from other traits that differ between the sexes. So, did any of you have any thoughts of this? I'd actually love to hear your theories. 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 I can't. There. Technically wiggled my ears. And my entire head, but my ears technically wiggled. 1. Beards and baldness. If you're a man with a luscious beard... Oh no, I cold read these. It's with a heavy heart that I have to break this next fact to you. Oh no! According to our brightest minds, it's all thanks to the ways testosterone and dihydrotestosterone influence your hair follicles. In short, while they might be giving you a flourishing beard, the hair on your scalp might be thinning out. Some scientists even believe that male pattern baldness might have evolved to balance out the heat that comes from having a thick beard, in which case it would mean that our genes are playing a long game of trade-offs. And I, for one, am not sure how I feel about that. So the next time you trim your beard or notice your hairline receding, just remember, it's probably just nature's way of keeping you cool. And also that we can't stay beautiful forever. So, well, that's a wrap. And if you enjoyed today's list, you have got to check out the one we did a while ago on 25 unbelievable natural disasters caught on camera. We covered it all, from a twister casually strolling through the middle of a city to a hot tornado in the midst of a wildfire, and actually even an explosion of steam right in the heart of Yellowstone. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. So to watch that video now, click this link right here, and I will catch you next time. Hopefully still with hair. That sucks.